I'm Hannes, and I'd like to invite you for a few breaths together. That's right there, autonomic nervous system. So I invite you to close your eyes. Even if you're at home, just for a few moments, just closing your eyes, becoming aware of your breathing, your feet, your posture, and to try to take the deepest inhale of today with the brightest smile. Create so-called happy hormones, adding a smile, and just a letting go exhale. One more like this, the deepest inhale, and a letting go exhale. Beautiful. Now I'd like to invite you to open your eyes and look at the person left or right to you, and then taking a breath together while looking at each other in the eyes. And if you only have one, if you have in between people, please turn to the other side as well and look the other person in the eyes and take a breath together as well. So, the wonderful presentation prior from Dr. Tsakalos, on the autonomic nervous system. So the only part of our autonomic nervous system that's actually visible are the eyes, and the breath is part of our autonomic nervous system. So the space in between, you just bridged it. You would just look each other into your autonomic nervous system, into your unconscious in a way. And fascinatingly, 90 to 95% of our decision making is unconscious. And then our autonomic, our autonomic nervous system kind of in a way rules that. And and breathing is really that bridge. And what got me so fascinated with breathing is healing from depression and anxiety. So I had mild cerebral palsy after intense birth trauma and had decades of depression, and nothing really helped, right? Like medication didn't help, therapy, because I had to connect with my autonomic nervous system. So I had to become more aware of it, because the near-death experience at birth resulted in like so much trauma that I had to like connect with it. And breathing was really the way to go. Of course, 10,000 of hours of yoga, of meditation, but breathing was really something I could tap into every moment, and in every moment become aware of that and deepen it. So there's recent fascinating studies that 5 minutes of breathing, I think the one from Stanford, is more effective than any kind of meditation or mindfulness practice. So just a simple sigh has more impact for 5 minutes than any kind of meditation or mindfulness practice. So it's really fascinating, right? Because we can do that at any moment. And then also another study showed that 5 minutes of breath work has more impact on a daily basis over time, or the same amount than anxiety medication. So it's really fascinating, right? Like there's such an industry on anxiety medication, but actually only 20% of them really work. So it's 40% that works, but 20% also has placebo effect. So if people taking a pill, 20% already has a placebo effect. But then from the ones that are actually taking anxiety medication, 25% have severe side symptoms. So imagine that, right? Like 25% who take this have severe side symptoms, and 20% of people only get the benefits. But breathing, almost, right, I would argue almost everybody has a benefit out of this. So I'd like to invite you also later on to do a little bit longer breathing meditation, which is inspired by my mentor Wim Hof, the Iceman Hof. So who have heard of him? Nice, wonderful, so many people. So when about 9 years ago, I worked in neuroscience with Dr. Michael Posner, National Medal of Science winner, published at Stanford, worked at MIT for a little bit. So we did meditation studies, and comparing different meditation techniques almost in real time, which one have the most impact. And then also we looked at visual stimuli. So what kind of impact visual stimuli have on our brain frequencies. I think there's later a beautiful talk here on this, on brain frequencies, alpha and theta. But then I learned about the study on the breathing technique by Wim Hof, and went also to Radboud University in the Netherlands. It was published in PNAS. One of the top journals, and it was called The Voluntary Activation of the Autonomic Nervous System. So the voluntary activation of our unconscious in a way, which is a fascinating title. So I read about it, and just with I think 20-25 minutes of a specific breathing technique, I'd like to invite you in a few minutes, people were able to resist the injection of E. coli bacteria. So just 25 minutes, and thousands of people before were not able to do that. So it's fascinating, right? Like ejection of E. coli bacteria, and people were able to change their pH levels from acidic to alkaline and back, and also change their blood oxygen saturation. So funnily enough, I actually did that with a friend here. She was in the hospital, had a brain tumor that was removed. She did a lot of breath work before, guided together, and then in the hospital here, she did breath work, and we dropped her blood oxygen saturation down to 60 or 70%, which who here was involved in the pandemic, probably all of us, right? Like there was always like, if it drops below 95%, it's really dangerous. So with this breathing technique, you can consciously drop it, but it has so many health benefits that you can resist ejection of E. coli bacteria. Millions of people used it, like me, healed from depression and anxiety, and you really energize your body. So if you're interested, Wim Hof method, very impactful, but it's really just the daily habits. Also my startup Breathing AI, of course, integrates these healthy habits, breathing reminders to help us to make it more of a habit. And then, so it's a really fascinating study. I connected with him, brought him here to New York very early on, I think in 2015 or so, a workshop. Now he works with Tony Robbins and Oprah Winfrey. And it's just groundbreaking, I think, what's out there in breathwork studies and breathing exercises to really connect, to bridge that gap to our unconscious autonomic nervous system. And it's just seeing good on time here. So I'd like to invite you to take this breathing exercise from Wim Hof and to really connect with your autonomic nervous system, because it has so many health benefits. And if you want, maybe closing your eyes, because if we have our eyes open, we can't help to judge, to become aware, to spend most of our energy, actually up to 70%, to engage our visual cortex. And if we close our eyes, you engage with your autonomic nervous system, becoming aware of your breathing. And then a little disclaimer, if you feel a little bit lightheaded or dizzy, it means it's working. You changed your blood chemistry, and so there's no danger to that. I've guided this to thousands of people, and nobody ever got unconscious or so. So you might feel lightheaded, you might feel tingling or so, but there's a lot of health benefits on this. Also, if you're at home, you're welcome to join us. So closing your eyes, and then it's a six-pack free zone. So for the ones who are exercising, please letting go of any tension on your belly. I'm trying to let go of any tension on your belly and your body. And you can place one hand on your belly as well, or one hand on your chest. And then sensing how can you expand your belly on the start of the inhale, then expanding your chest, your throat. Just letting go, exhale. Creates twice as much air flowing in. There's a study at Stanford. You can always breathe with me or breathing at your own pace. Ideally always expanding your belly, your chest, your throat. Taking the letting go exhale. Ideally every inhale is deeper, ideally through the nose, than the one before. And every exhale is just a letting go exhale. Every inhale is longer. And every exhale is just a letting go exhale. If you add a smile, create so-called happy hormones. If you want it or not, there's studies on this. Deep inhale. And letting go exhale. Each inhale, the deepest inhale you've ever taken, maybe. Just a letting go exhale. If you're yawning, also it's a sign you're changing your blood chemistry. Deepest inhale. Letting go exhale. 11 more together. Deepest inhale. Letting go exhale. 10 more deep inhales. Letting go exhale. Beautiful. You can imagine yourself growing up like a balloon. Letting go exhale. Inhaling almost into every blood cell of your body. Letting go exhale. Each inhale the deepest ever. Letting go exhale, dropping in tension. Deep inhales. And letting go exhale. Each inhale, fully inhaling through your whole body. Letting go exhale. And 5 more, the deepest ever, breathing through your whole body. Letting go exhale. 4 more like this, deepest inhale. Letting go exhale. Beautiful. 3 more, deepest inhales ever. Letting go exhale. 2 more. Letting go exhale. 1 more like this. And letting go exhale. Now the very last inhale, and then take a relaxing exhale. And then hold your breathing after this relaxing exhale. No more inhale. If you accidentally inhaled again, you can take another relaxing exhale. And then just trying to hold your breathing after the relaxing exhale. And just sense how easy it might feel to hold your breathing now after the relaxed exhale, just with a little bit of air left. Whenever you need to inhale again, then taking a deep, nourishing inhale and hold your breathing again. Just sense how you're feeling when you're holding your breathing, just relaxing your body, either after the relaxing exhale or after the deep inhale. We probably have all different breathing retention times, so I keep talking, but I'd like to invite you to hold your breathing for as long as possible, either after the relaxed exhale or after the deep inhale. You probably feel more energy after that deep inhale, that rush of energy. And I'll keep talking to entertain also the ones who started to breathe again. What happens with the letting go exhale is we pop open the circa around 500 million alveoli in our lung wings, and they have the surface area of a tennis court. So just by taking the letting go exhale, we open them up, and we would actually die, there's studies on this, if we wouldn't sigh throughout the day. So just a simple sigh opens up the, literally tennis court inside of it, even more, inside of the lung wings, and helps us to breathe in so much more oxygen. So also what was illustrated by Robin earlier, that if you have bad posture, and we not only harm, our autonomic nervous system, but also, we limit our breathing, what was allocated there by 30%. So if you take a letting go exhale, you take 100% more air in on the next inhale. That's why when we sometimes yawn or take a sigh, that's really what helps us so much throughout the day. We would literally die if we wouldn't sigh throughout the day. So what I wanted to do is not only guide it, I guided it at, after the studies we published at Stanford, worked at MIT, I worked at on Rikers, I guided at museums and schools and top universities. But what really made the difference, I feel, is making it more accessible for people. And that's why we started Breathing AI, and we'll come back to that later, but it's really to make it, we have one free version of our product out. I invite you to download it on your computer. And it's really to help you get the break reminders, to monitor maybe also your breathing patterns in the future, and to sense, when do you need to take a really deep breath, when you need to take a better posture, because, we all know so many things that help us with our well-being, but sometimes it's good to have a little reminder and have that guidance throughout the day, especially when unfortunately so much time is on screens, and, it's hard to remind ourselves I need to sit better, but that's why we're there for, to help remind us, to monitor that, and unfortunately spend up to 11 hours or more on our screens these days. So yeah, that's a little promotion for breathing. Also a little bit for my startup always, but it's really for breathing, and hopefully you learn something from it. I'm always fascinated by any studies. If you know any studies on breathing, please come to me and tell me. I love that stuff. So yeah, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for practicing breathing with me. And I'm so excited for all the future talks here coming throughout the day. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Who here feels more relaxed? Me? Okay. Do you guys need a break before our keynote speaker? Or are we all good? 5 minutes? Let's take a 5-minute break, bathroom, walk around, move a little bit, and then we're going to be introducing our amazing keynote speaker, okay? All right, see you guys in 5.
I knew that. Oh, okay, yeah. That's what I didn't have. Good. Perfect.
That was really good.